At the end of Avengers Infinity War from last year, the Avengers were in quite a pickle. Thanos had just snapped his fingers, since he had all the Infinity Stones, and wiped out half the population and a lot of our favorite Marvel heroes. So in Avengers Endgame, the sequel, the Avengers do find a way to take the fight back to Thanos and hopefully repair the universe. I'm not going to say how they find this way and what they do, but that's the plot. They wind up facing Thanos in a final confrontation that will never leave the Marvel Cinematic Universe the same ever again. So what did I think of Avengers Endgame? Well, in this spoiler-free review, because it's a difficult movie to talk about without spoilers, so I'm going to do my best to do that, I found it an enjoyable, satisfying end. Well, movie in general, and an end to the first 10 or 11 years of the Marvel Universe. But I think for most Marvel Cinematic Universe fans who've been following this universe for the past 10 years too and are just really hyped and invested in these characters, they're going to think this movie is just like probably jaw-droppingly excellent. Because it is a love letter, I guess, to the past 10 or 11 years of the MCU. And they do find a way to, I guess, take you back down memory lane and kind of relive some iconic moments and kind of take you on a tour through a lot of the things that have happened in the MCU in the last 10 or 11 years. And, I think a lot of MCU fans are going to find that, exciting and are going to buy into a lot of the hype and the buzz about this being like the best superhero movie ever. Now, I personally didn't think I thought it was a decent movie. I didn't think it was like the best like superhero movie ever. And I was not one of the people like crying in the theaters with some of the story beats. But again, I'm not like this huge MCU fan who like goes like gaga over the moon every time Marvel releases a movie. I think they're satisfying, but I don't like lose my minds over the Marvel movies like a lot of MCU fans do. But, I think that if you're that kind of person, you're going to like lose your crap over this movie in a good way. Now, surprisingly, even though Avengers Endgame does have action in it, especially at the end of the movie in the final, third act battle or whatever, it's a surprisingly emotional movie that takes its time to get there and spends a lot of time, with the characters, with the Avengers, the survivors of Infinity War, to show their lives and what's happened to them after Thanos snapped his fingers and, killed like half the people in the world. It takes a lot of time to build up to this final, huge ending. And there's a lot of like smaller moments and a lot of emotional beats, more so than I think you would expect from a Marvel movie, because Marvel movies, in my opinion, they aren't usually that emotional or deeply dramatic. But this one I think was in a lot of ways, because it like has 10 or 11 years of buildup. And you're going to like a lot of those quiet moments if you're someone who's invested in these characters and their journey they've taken in this universe. Now, I will say that like the build up to the final confrontation at the end, that final confrontation itself, it is like very big and very epic. And I think that is like the landing. The movie builds up, they go on this journey and then they take this huge, flight, so to speak. And then in the last, third act of the movie, they stick the landing. And it's going to have a lot of satisfying moments and confrontations. It's going to make a lot of people really happy. Now, like I said, I didn't buy into the hype, even after I seen the movie. And I don't think this is like the best superhero movie ever, as a lot of people are going to say, or the best Marvel movie ever, because every Marvel movie is the best Marvel movie ever until the latest Marvel movie comes out. They said the same thing about Thor Ragnarok. I think they said it about Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Infinity War. If each one of those is the best Marvel movie, I mean, they can't all be the best. Only one of them can be the best. But, that's what the narrative about Marvel until Marvel releases its next movie. So while I thought Avengers Endgame was a good movie, I don't know. The buzz and the hype, I'm not going to say it's like the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But I do think that it was a very decent and satisfying end to the first decade or so of Marvel movies. And I recommend seeing it, especially if you're an MCU fan. You're going to lose your mind in a good way. Now, one thing that isn't hype, that if you watch this movie, when you watch it, there are things in this movie that are going to change the Marvel Cinematic Universe forever. That's the hype for a lot of, that's the marketing copy they put for a lot of movies like this. When there's huge crossovers and epic fights or whatever, it's like, this will change things forever. But a lot of times, nothing's really changed. In Endgame, things really are changed, I think, permanently for the MCU going forward. And a lot of these permanent changes, I think, are what's really going to make you emotional if you've been following a lot of these characters, like I said, for the past 10 or 11 years. So, Endgame does, I think, change the stakes and really does change the dynamic of the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward. So if you're looking for a movie that actually doesn't, fake change, that actually does make some long lasting modifications to the universe going forward, Avengers Endgame does do that with some major important characters. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.